this whiskey's great. This is the best whiskey I've ever had.
Yeah.
Just keep adding water, mate. Eventually you'll be drinking water. This is the best whiskey I've ever had. Today we're going to review the Evan Williams single barrel bourbon. You notice we've changed our format a little bit, Sev.
Yes, we have.
And we're just going to focus, I think, more on the juice inside the bottle.
Yep.
And give a taste test now. I sort of thought on that, maybe what else is out in the marketplace this time. So this has been an unusual one, a bourbon. We've got a lot of bourbons here at my bottle shop. I suppose Evan Williams wouldn't be a brand that people would know a lot about, would they?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, if you went looking for it, it's prevalent. I mean, the normal bourbon and the bottled in bond version is prevalent in a few stores online, but you probably wouldn't see it as much at your local.
No.
We're doing the single barrel today, which you definitely probably can't find anywhere.
Yeah, it's not it's probably, if you're in America, you'd probably this would be mid-tier bourbon at your local liquor store, but here in Australia you wouldn't see this around much. But I suppose to compare with Four Roses single barrel, which again you wouldn't see around much.
That's exactly right.
There's obviously Jack Daniel's single barrel.
Yeah, of course. The Eagle Rare 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's not very popular. You don't see that around much either.
Nah, you wouldn't. But same type of tier, right?
Yeah, same tier. Evan Williams single barrel, Sev, it's a 43.3 alcohol.
Yeah, that's it, ABV.
ABV from a single barrel, so the juice inside this bottle would come out of one barrel in the rick house.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to just tell us a bit about
the
bottle?
fun fact for the day, actually, on each of these bottles, believe it or not, it states on the back, handwritten as well, mind you, which we'll show you in a sec. Pretty much the exact day it was put into an oak barrel to age, so that's pretty interesting. Every bottle is definitely different and handwritten, so pretty special one, that one.
This one was barreled on 25th of August 2011.
Oh, lovely. So
barrel number 1256 and bottled on the 16th of September 2019.
Really?
Which would make it about an 8-year-old bourbon.
Wow.
So I'm going to give this a bit of a pour here now, Sam.
My one was honestly a few days before yours, on the 8th. The 18th, mind you, of August in 2011. So this is barrel number 915 and bottled on the 7th of August in 2019.
Now, what are people going to pay for this in Australia?
It's about $99. So that's
$100.
$100 is pretty much your average for a good single barrel bourbon.
Yep. It's got a very, you'd say the colour in the glass is a real bronze colour.
Yeah,
when you
that's
say
right,
dark
yeah,
bronze.
Dark bronze, that's right.
You'd sort of expect that from a single barrel bourbon, or any single barrel product, I guess. Maybe that, at that ABV, I sort of thought when I saw that was 43%, which is 86 proof. I thought that was a bit on the low side. Not gonna lie.
That's right.
I was a bit surprised by that. I thought it might be a little bit higher. Like Russell's Reserve would be 110, or Rare Breed that'd be, or Russell's Reserve 55, Rare Breed would be 50, 52 or 55, right?
That's right. And I just going back to the colour, I have noticed this is more on the orangey side. Like, it is a dark brown, it's like you get, but there's a little tinge of orange to it, which makes me wonder about the flavours, what we're in for in comparison to, the rest of the single barrels that we've just mentioned. So it's going to be interesting. This is, some of the other single barrels. So
well, so I mean, I guess look at the glass, look at the colour. So far, that I'm expecting when I put this in my mouth that this is going to be, this is going to be a good whiskey, a good bourbon. That's what I'm expecting. So let's give it a bit of a.
Wouldn't say anything else about a single barrel.
let's give it a bit of a taste here, and we got no water at the moment either, Seb, right?
Not at the moment, no. Ooh. It's very tough on the mouth, like very leathery. The first reaction.
Really is leathery, yeah, definitely. I feel like I've chewed on my belt or something.
Yeah.
It's real leathery. It's got it's got a strong burn. I mean, what's the time now? It's 5:15 in the afternoon here in Sydney. So it's drink o'clock really.
Yeah, that's right.
But that has really coated the entire inside of my mouth.
That's right. Yeah.
And I can feel it now as it's going down. It's a strong burn.
Yeah.
Are you getting the same sensation?
Yeah. Medium to strong finish, I think. But
strong finish, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I guess the taste, in terms of going back to the taste, The leathery does come out. You know, you get the oak from the barrel like you do with all good bourbons. But there's not, you know, we were going on about how sweet the nose was. There's not much of that sweetness coming out in the finish.
No, I agree with that. I think it's, you know, it's almost elements of, you know, you hear people talking about having dirt in your mouth, or they got that dirt,
that's right,
that earthy, I suppose, flavour in your mouth. I get a bit of that, a bit of that dryness from the leather. The nose didn't match the finish.
Yeah,
the
correct.
palate, right?
I do agree
didn't
with that.
Match
100%.
that. Now, the question is, would you, Seb, before I ask you whether you buy this Evan Williams, all we're going to do is, let's to be fair for all these whiskies that we do, we should put a bit of water in there.
Put a few drops in there.
You know, and the saying is, you know, depending on you count the seconds on the burn as you drink the whiskey, and if you know you feel the burn going down for 5 seconds, you should put 5 drops. So that's sort of what I'm going to do here for both of us. 5, so just 5 little drops from a pipette or whiskey diluting dropper. And let's just see if that, before I ask you your final verdict,
fair enough.
Let's see if that's opened this whiskey up at all.
That's it. Maybe we'll get some.
Because a lot of these, that's right. A lot of these single barrels, particularly on the palate, you get that leather until the water comes in, opens up the flavours, reveals more of the fruit.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, see how we go.
Well, I can tell you straight up, that is 3-4 times softer. I'm not getting that.
It's pretty good now.
I'm not right. It's not bad. Not bad. It's the worst whiskey I've ever had. This whiskey's pretty damn good. This whiskey's great. This is the best whiskey I've ever had. Just keep adding water, mate. Eventually you'll be drinking water. This is the best whiskey I've ever had.
Now it tastes like I've picked the best, you know, and the lowest hanging fruit from an apricot tree.
Really fruity.
Lovely,
It's opened it right up. I totally agree with the apricot.
Bit of honey.
I get that. I get a chewy apricot with a bit of honey. Pecan nut. It changed it totally.
That's it. So
which is strange, given 43%. You wouldn't expect. You know, normally the higher the proof the whiskey, you add the water. You get 55, 110 proofs. Put the water in there, opens the whiskey right up. 43 only. But what a difference that water makes.
Well, that's right. Given the ABV, people probably. I don't know myself, I wouldn't usually be putting water in that going, you know, it's already 43%
of course.
It is.
Well, wild turkey, your standard wild turkey in Australia is 83, so it's pretty much the same. Now, this question is, Seb, would you drop 2 hard-earned cucumbers on this Evan Williams single barrel? Because that's what's going to cost you.
Well, before the water, I would have said nah. After all that, I would definitely say yes. Now, I know I don't mean to crap on a little bit, but in comparison to some of the others, like 4 Roses is my number one, the single barrel. I don't think it compares to that.
4 Roses is amazing.
Followed by the Russell's Reserve. You know, I speak very highly.
Where's Eagle Rare, mate? Come on, where's the Eagle Rare 10-year-old single barrel? Come on,
mate. It's dropped down a few notches.
Whoa! What's happened? It was right up here on your. Didn't it sit up on your shelf for 6 months or more?
It did. But look, it does compare, and I definitely would. What about yourself, Rob?
Yeah, look, mate, I'm a big bourbon drinker. I'd probably look past this, I'm not going to lie. It's a lovely bottle with the wax seal and the cork, so, you know, it's got a hang tag. It's got all the
handwritten bottle numbers.
Handwritten bottle number. It looks good, but, mate, there's just too much out there with the wild turkeys and the Eagle Rares and single barrels. There's too much good stuff that I wouldn't waste my money or my time. As much as I think this is all right, and, you know, probably why it's not in every liquor store. Why it's not a good seller. So, mate, what we'll do is wind up now, but before we finish, we will give it a mark. Instead of writing on a bit of paper like we normally do, we'll just give it out, and Ados, our producer, will put it up on the screen. We'll give it as a My Bottle Shop mark out of 100.
That sounds good.
So,
all right, well,
you go first.
I'll go first. I've given it a 78. You know, it is a single barrel. It's, you know, like I said, it's not, I guess, on top of all the single barrels that we've tried here at My Bottle Shop. But, you know, I think it compares pretty good. 78 is a competitive score, and given I'm comparing it to, I would say, high 80s, mid 80s single barrels. So, you know, it's not dreadful. I like it. If I saw this on a French shelf, I'd be very excited to drink.
Yeah, well, look, I'm going to give it an 80, Seth. And to be honest with you, I'm probably about the same on the juice inside the bottle. I have bumped that up a little bit because I do appreciate, personally anyway, I appreciate the presentation as well as the juice. So the fact it's a wax seal, it's cork, it's got the handwriting, it's got the hang tag. I feel, you know, if I'm sitting down having my whiskey or my bourbon night, I feel a little bit more luxe and experience. So I think it does add to the quality of the juice in there. So I did bump my rating up a little bit from the juice. So I'm going to give it an 80 out of 100 for Evan Williams single barrel.
Very nice.
So, Sev, we're going to finish up. Look, please, we are developing the YouTube channel here at mybottleshop.com.
Always changing, and you know, we want to hear your feedback.
Any feedback, please let us know in the comments. If you like what we're doing, thumbs up. If you don't, give us a thumbs down by the same token. So we know, you know, we're going to try a few different formats to see what works and what doesn't work, and we do appreciate your feedback.
That's right. And thank you very much again, and you know, stay tuned for the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.